I wish people knew these guys running the company because they're great guys. I said, you know, there's just a percentage of these trolls on the left and on the right. They're like, I'm so empowered by the internet. Yeah. I'm going to bitch and moan and, you know, I have a voice. It's like, go fuck yourself. All right, cut it out. Like, if anyone's still spending time on this, you clearly are fucking bored. Find something better to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a pursuit of losers. But the problem is those losers can actually affect businesses.
Interesting how the CEO of Bud Light hangs around with Kid Rock and now you're a troll for boycotting it. And Joe Rogan thinks that you're a loser. Also, I find it interesting that they curse a lot, right? Like, it's edgy to curse. It's very mature to say the F word as a punctuation sign. But interesting how they don't use slurs. They don't use any of the words that Hollywood used to say in the 90s when making movies, right? I mean, if you don't think the internet is powerful and you don't think that the internet is empowering people, why don't you use slurs? I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? Just say it. I mean, you say one F word, why not say the other? Oh, because you know what would happen, and it's not the losers and the trolls that would come after you. It would be the people with real power, which is the left. And they would come after you, and they would get you fired. They would get your company tanked far worse than the right did to Bud Light. But I find it very interesting, right? Like, all of a sudden, we are told that if you don't buy a product, you're a loser. I mean, how ass-hurt do these individuals have to be? So, like, when companies are making commercials and they're insulting people, like, for example, Gillette did, and they were insulting men, pretty much, like, the idea of boys will be boys is already harmful, right? Like, if your kid goes out and he plays in the mud with sticks, and the mother is absolutely concerned, she's like, oh my God, he's going to end up being a criminal. Look what he did to poor Billy. He fought with sticks. Can you imagine? He could have got injured. And it's like, well, relax, lady. Boys will be boys. No, if you say that, if it harmful, dangerous, why? Because Gillette says so. Also, Gillette, if you try to interact with a member of the opposite sex, if you try to pick up a lady in a public space, no, we don't do that here, right? So, like, the companies are allowed to look down on citizens and treat them as if they're children. The company is allowed to position itself in, I guess, like the fatherhood role. However, the peasantry, they have absolutely no say in it. If they say anything negative about the company, they're trolls. If they disagree with the ideological position that the company is taking, they're losers. Right, so in a world where companies are encouraged to take political stances, and in every single nation, any political stance is rarely supported by more than 50% of the population. Like, I understand that in America, they created the cultural zeitgeist that literally everyone agrees with pronouns. Everyone agrees with removing gender from language and using things like Latinx. And there is a consensus amongst the Americans that borders are evil, right? These aren't controversial issues. No, they are settled political disputes. Like the consensus have been achieved. Everyone believes in it, and this is why it's safe for the company to take the ideological position. And when the company gets backlash for the ideological position, oh, it's from losers and trolls. It's not that the company decided to tie its product, like a razor, to tie its product to actual cultural controversial stuff. And again, I made another video talking about how the New York Times immediately solved the issue with a man who basically said he likes Chick-fil-A. He immediately got fired. Like, just no discussion, no controversy, no nothing. Oh, you like Chick-fil-A? We don't do that here. And that is why they know that this is effective. They do not want the people on the right, and by the people on the right, I mean they don't want populists, okay? They don't want populists, they don't want the peasantry, they don't want the population to realize, hold on a little bit, we actually do have purchasing power. We don't have to buy the product from companies that insult us, that mock and ridicule us. Like, if companies become political, well, we can vote with our wallets, because that's what you do with politics. You vote, you support. Oh, this company makes a shitty product, but it supports my politics. Well, I guess I have to buy it now. Because the left may do the same with their companies. Right? They push a bad product. Oh, yeah, but like, they're supporting our agenda. And, I want my culture to be dominated. To dominate. I don't want my culture to be dominated. Right? So, like, the left is going to buy stuff from companies that they don't like. They're going to choose not to buy stuff from companies they do like. The populists have to do the same. There's no controversy here, right? And the fact that they are crying about it shows to me that it works. They are terrified because up until now, the way that it worked is like if you're a company, you support the establishment, right? And if you support the establishment, you do so by insulting populists. So as long as you're insulting populists, nothing bad happens to you. The establishment is still going to shop there. Populists are still going to shop at you as long as you have a decent product. So it's perfectly fine. If you support the populists, then the establishment cracks down on you. Then it's harder to make loans. Then it's going to have activist groups pressuring your company. You're going to have the left boycotting you. You're going to have people refusing to work with you, right? So, like, you have two choices. Either you're politically neutral or you support the establishment. Whatever you do, don't support the populists, right? Just mock the populists, insult the populists, ridicule them. Best that happens is they complain about it and your company is trending on Twitter and that's free advertising. But all of a sudden with Bud Light, they're like, oh shit, now apparently we can't be political because if we support the establishment, the populists boycott us. And if we support the populists, the establishment boycotts us. How do we do business? Oh shit, we actually need to make a good product now that people like, but that's complicated. How do we get cheap loans? Like if we want to get a loan, apparently we have to support the establishment. We got to get consultants on board and they're going to make changes that make us virtue signal to the establishment, but that pisses off the populists. Oh no. Oh no. Please don't tell us that we actually have to work for a living again. Please don't tell us that we have to fire all the bloat that we have in our company. People that have nothing to do with the production line and focus on just making a good product again. That would mean like getting back in touch with the market, like seeing what the people, that's horrible. We don't want to do that. We wanted the way things were before, which was safe. I mean, before it was so safe. You just virtue signal about the razor, you make a commercial, everyone talks about Gillette, everyone knows who Gillette is. You know, the left is like, well, that's good, I'm going to buy more Gillette products because apparently they're supporting my cause. Right? So no, like I do think that the Budweiser boycott was not just effective, but it actually scared the establishment, and they're like, oh, maybe we should just shut the fuck up and make a product. And such initiatives have to be encouraged. Oh, they're online trolls. Sure, they're online trolls, but there's a lot of them, and trolls have money, right? Like they're not in front of your company preventing people from walking in. They're not the ones that are contacting the banks and making sure that it's difficult for you to get loans. They're not the ones harassing your employees or anything, making sure that you don't get people to work for your company. No, they just don't want to buy your product. Are they losers for that? Maybe, but there's a lot of them and they have cash. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.